Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, or DeAndre Jordan. Stephen A., what is going on here?
Well, Phil's trying to give him away for a box of cookies. He's being very, very disrespectful for one of the prolific scorers that we've seen in the modern-day era in the National Basketball Association. It's an absolute travesty because really what it comes down to, again, it's disrespect. I'm sitting here saying this. Think about this, Max Kellerman. This is Carmelo Anthony. Even though you've been on the record saying that Carmelo Anthony should be moved, never once, Max Kellerman, did you say he should be moved for close to nothing. You never said that. You said move him, but damn, show him some respect. Act like he's got some value. So you're the New York Knicks, and you're willing to give away Carmelo Anthony for somebody that's not named Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, or DeAndre Jordan? The nerve, the gall, it's unbelievable to me. And what this speaks to is how Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson and their relationship has regressed. It speaks to the fact that there's no desire for Phil Jackson to be around this man. And I'm happy about that because the only way Phil would get to that point is if Carmelo Anthony finally looked him in the face and told him how he really feels about him, okay? Because I know that he don't like the man. So I'm happy about that. But I just believe as a Knicks fan, if you got Carmelo Anthony, how the hell are you going to give him away for a box of cookies? I don't understand that part. I don't get that at all.
I understand
and it just shows. Please explain. I need help, Max. Go ahead. The floor is yours. I need help.
One, Phil Jackson's bad at trading players, number one.
Okay.
He does not get value for what he trades. In fact, the Tyson Chandler deal, any asset he has, even marginal asset, Iman Shumpert, is usually used to leverage himself out of a bad contract. Now, he inherited some of those bad contracts, not his fault, but he doesn't really get anything back for it of value. He just kind of clears the decks. And so here, he runs into a reluctant marketplace on Carmelo Anthony, and he's like, well, let me just get rid of him for nothing. Phil Jackson, so far, has been a bad, essentially, GM. That's one. Two, no reason to get outraged about the fact that the Knicks, apparently, even if they had a good GM, can't get a star for Carmelo. What that tells you, Stephen A., is the marketplace is trying to tell you what I have been trying to tell you about Carmelo Anthony. He ain't worth that much. He's a nice he's a great scorer, a great ISO scorer, but he is not a superstar in terms of the results he's achieved on the court in terms of wins and losses. He has not had a lot of talent around him. In his best season, without a ton around him, he has won 50 games. Like, you know, in his prime, he was a great player. And now he's a very good one because he still has remarkable scoring ability. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't move the ball and all those kind of things. And what the marketplace is telling you right now, this isn't just Phil Jackson, his ineptitude, or me telling you, or some columnist opining. This is the NBA marketplace saying, no, you can't have Kevin Love for Carmelo. You can't have DeAndre Jordan even for Carmelo, let alone Blake Griffin or Chris Paul. The marketplace is dictating this. He's just not worth that much. Now, is he not a good player? No, he's still a very good player. But he has a max deal. It's not like it's up at the end of this season, and he's diminishing physically in a league with guys like the Greek Freak and Karl Anthony Towns, young, athletic, improving players, many of whom, maybe most of whom, are not making the max. So you have a player who I believe has always been overrated, though great at his best, diminishing, getting paid the most you can possibly pay him in a league that's changing, doesn't move the ball, doesn't play defense. You ain't getting a superstar for him because I hate to tell you, he's not a superstar. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Max, you've gone on long enough. Let me ask you a question. Who's the superstar when we talk about Blake Griffin and Kevin Love? Who? Which one of those?
I don't think Kevin Love's a superstar either. Blake Griffin is. Blake Griffin is.
A superstar?
Well, I mean, okay, if he's... then he's a bubble superstar. Blake Griffin is an incredibly excellent player.
Max, you're lying. You're lying to the American people because you know in LA, being out here in LA, you know good and well. There's been plenty of times. That crew cut that you just cut off and looks all nice, got you looking about 10 years younger. Max Kellerman, how many times did you use that from scratching your head, looking like you had dandruff because Blake Griffin was driving you crazy? Come on, Max. Don't you lie right now.
Blake Griffin's problem I've watched Blake Griffin very closely from the very beginning. He was an incredible rookie. And by the way, since former President Obama told Chris Paul, tell Blake Griffin to work on his 15-footer, Blake Griffin has, and he had such a beautiful all-around game that last year I wondered, can he still explode when he needs to? And then in the playoffs, he showed you, yeah, I still can. I'm just working on my overall game. The problem with Blake Griffin is he may be a little soft because he won't stay in the post. I agree with that criticism of Blake Griffin. And if you want to say he's not a superstar, he is the very next thing to it. Carmelo isn't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Whatever Blake is, Carmelo is less than that. And by the way, the marketplace is telling you the same thing is true of Kevin Love, whether you agree with it or not. The marketplace is telling you that.
I'm going to challenge the marketplace and their knowledge about the game of basketball if you're going to sit there and tell me that Carmelo Anthony wouldn't be better with CP3. See, this is the key here. This is basketball. And what we're talking about is not just the individual talent, but how it's complemented by the personnel. You're CP3. Who can you do more with? A 6'10 forward who only wants to go inside when it's on a fast break and he's dunking the basketball. Other than that, he wants to shoot jump shots, but he can't shoot as well as Melo. He don't have the handle that Melo has. He can't create his own shot the way Melo can, and he can't feed off.
And he's going to leave, and you're not going to get anything for him anyway.
You trying to tell me that? Really?
No, matter of fact, listen, Doc, please listen to Stephen A. Trade Blake to the Knicks for Carmelo. That would be awesome. Ain't going to happen. Carmelo don't have that trade value.
It would work for both teams.
Would love to hear more.
Because the Knicks don't have CP3.
We got to save it for another day. We got to get to break. When we come back, it's my final take. I have a story I want you to hear. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Shaquille O'Neal, the one who taught Stephen A. Smith everything he knows. And you're watching First Take. Hi, Molly.